Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to set up the loop expander and the switch doctor so that you can get full access to all the loop expander loops through the switch doctor interface. First thing we're going to want to do is set up the loop expander to accept MIDI control changes from the switch doctor. Now to do that we have to access the setup mode of the loop expander. In order to do that we press the edit button while we power the loop expander on. You're going to see two options flash, 1 and 2 alternating. We're going to want to use option 2 to set the control changes. So when it's on 2, release the edit button, and when you press the edit button again, you'll see your options flash. We want to use option 1 for the first control change bank. Then you just disconnect the power and your settings are saved. Now plug it back in normally. You'll see it powers up normally. And that's really all you have to do to set up the loop expander. Now, once you have your pedals plugged into the loops, you really don't have to access the loop expander anymore. Everything will be done through the switch doctor interface. Okay, now let's set up the switch doctor. In this case, I'm going to power the switch doctor by phantom power through the MIDI cable. And I'm going to do this by supplying at least 300 milliamps to the loop expander, and then using my standard MIDI cable out of the switch doctor, I'm going to plug that to the loop expander input, and the extra pins on the MIDI cable will supply power to the switch doctor. Now in some cases this can give you a ground loop in the audio since you're sharing a ground with one power supply. If that's the case for you, then it's just a simple matter of plugging the switch doctor's own power supply into its jack and it'll disconnect the power connection between the two. Now the first thing we want to do to set up our switch doctor is use bank up and down to get up into our setup mode. PC1 is our first program change. We don't want that. We're going to use the bank up to get to control change A. Control change A is the 4 switches we're going to use to control the loop expander. So if we arrow right, we see that control change A is off. We use the plus button to set its MIDI channel and turn it on, and we can go to any MIDI channel we want. In this case, we're using MIDI channel 1. Hit the edit store button to get out of setup mode, back into preset mode. And that's really all there is to it to setting up the switch doctor. Okay, now we're in preset mode on the switch doctor. I'm going to take you to direct mode by pressing the center button on the top row. And now you can see we have a page of CCA switches which are controlling the loop expander loops directly. Now if we find a combination we want to save, we can press the edit store switch and hold it until it says save, and then it asks where we want to save it. I'm going to save it to preset C in bank 1. Save yes or no. I say yes, and my preset's saved. Now if we hit the edit store to go back to preset mode, you can see by the loop expander loops here that my preset was saved. Now if I want to go back into direct mode, I hit the edit store switch again, and I can make changes on the fly. So let's say I want to use loops 1 and 4 on the loop expander and save that to another preset. So I go through and save it to B, save yes or no, yes. Go back to preset mode and you can see the two different presets saved. Now if I want to add some of the switch doctor loops to one of these presets, I can do that very easily as well. Going back into direct mode, I can use the bank up and down to access the other pages of direct mode. And here I see the loops page, which is the onboard loops of the switch doctor. Bank down to go back to the CCA page, and I'll use loop 1 on the loop expander. Press edit store and hold it to save it, and I'll save that as preset D. And press this edit store to save. Yes, no, I say yes. Now as I go back to preset mode, you can see the 3 different presets that I saved.